Hey everyone, my name is Chloe and I am here today to do the stay at home book tag. So I saw this tag over on Steph from Steph's Romance Book Talk. I saw it on her channel. It was originally created by Madison from Princess of Paperback, and I will link both of them down below because I saw this and thought it was just such a fun tag and so fitting for where we are right now in the world of all staying home and just doing all the things at home. So I'll just go ahead and get started with the questions. So the first one is staying in bed, a book you could have or did read in a day. And I don't really have specific books for this, but books with short chapters. So The One by John Mars, One Breath Away by Heather Gudenkauf, a lot of Lisa Jewell's have short chapters. A lot of James Patterson's have short chapters. Anything with super short chapters, it's like you can get through those so quick, and they're just so like addicting and readable, like compulsively readable, where you have to just keep going. So those are great ones. If you can read those in a day and just kind of tuck in and commit, it's so fun to do that. Another one that I maybe read in a day is Love and Other Words by Christina Lauren. That book was just so good. I had to know what happened. I was so emotionally invested the whole time that I just didn't want to put it down. So yeah, those are my answers to that. Question number 2, snacking, a guilty pleasure book. So I have a little stack here. Let's see, I've got multiple stacks going on, so I need to find the right stack. My answer to this is YA rom-com-y things, some of which may be a little bit problematic, but are also kind of brain candy. So the Shopaholic series, that's not YA, it's adult, but that one I really enjoy. Meg Cabot, she can be pretty problematic, but this one is her Heather Wells series, Size 12 is Not Fat. That's the first one. You kind of have to go in expecting a main character that may be a little obnoxious, maybe just a little annoying, but also just really brainless stuff. And guilty pleasure, I don't really feel guilty for reading anything, but these are ones that it's you've got to kind of either suspend your disbelief or not take it too seriously. So another author that I feel is that way is Sarah Dessen. Some of her books have some really deep stuff, but it's all very teen angsty. And so, yeah, this one is just kind of a nice thing to break up more intense reads. And then also Jane Green. She is another one that is she's women's fiction, and they're just wonderful to pick up and just kind of get lost into. I love her books. And so again, I don't really feel guilty about reading any of those, but those are some that I really enjoy when I just want to zone out. So then question 3, Netflix, a series you want to start. So I have 2, Virgin River by Robin Carr. I have 4 random books on my shelf, and that's an 18-book series, and it's got novellas in between. It's just a huge series, so I have been really hesitant to read it because, as you guys know, I am a marathoner. If I start a series, I like to just binge it and do it all. And so I only have 4 of the books on my shelf. The first one is not one that I have, and it's so long that I really want to do it. It's also a show that I think is on Netflix, which is ironic. And so I would really like to at least check that out. I have said I'm not a big movie watcher, and so adaptations are hard, but I think with a show, maybe I could do it. So The Virgin River, and then also the In Death series by Nora Robb. Now this one is a 50-book series or something ridiculously huge. And so I know I would never get through that. But it's just a little different. It's a mystery romance kind of thing. And I've heard such good things. Mara from Books Like Whoa, she reads a lot of them. And they've been recommended to me multiple times. And I do have the first one of that on my shelf. So that's the only one I have is the first one. So I would really like to pick up that series someday. Next is Deep Clean, a book that has been on your TBR for ages. So if you saw my maybe, I don't know. I did a keep or unhaul video recently, sometime in April, and I put a lot of books on there that I've had for a while, but I'm going to say this one, The Sunflower Forest by Tori Hayden. I am trash at remembering when and where I got my books, but this one has a British pound sign on it, and I don't think I've ever ordered from Book Depository, so I know I got this one when I was overseas, and I have not been to anywhere that uses the pound 10 years. So I know this one is at least 10 years old, and I can't remember when it was published, but this one is old. So I have got to read this one soon. Next is Animal Crossing, a book you recently purchased because of the hype. Now, I am a big used book buyer. I'm not big on buying new books. And so a lot of these I bought because of the hype, but I bought them like a year more later after the hype. So I've got a big stack of this. It's The Breakdown by B.A. Paris. B.A. Paris, I just feel like is pretty hyped on BookTube. Everybody's got an opinion, not necessarily good, but and I loved Behind Closed Doors, so I bought this one. A Heart and a Body in the World by Deb Coletti. This one I just kept hearing about over and over and over and over, so I bought it and loved this one. All Your Perfects by Colleen Hoover. Again, she is one that I have been interested in forever, but being on BookTube and Instagram and all of that, Colleen Hoover is just like a beloved author. Again, with some controversial opinions, but this one I definitely bought because I just had to know what it is about, because it also deals with infertility, which is something my husband and I have struggled with. And so this just, I have not read it yet, but I bought it because of the hype. Jar of Hearts by Jennifer Hillier. She's another one that is big on BookTube, especially with her new release now. So bought this one. The Way You Make Me Feel by Maureen Gu. This is another one I heard about a ton on BookTube. This is more, I'm answering this question more as a BookTube made me do it than bought because of the hype, but that's kind of the same thing. How to Walk Away by Catherine Sinner. This one I hear about constantly, but I also really love Catherine Sinner, so I probably would have picked this up regardless. And then Emergency Contact by Mary H.K. Choi. And this one I heard about nonstop. And I don't know if I would have picked it up on my own, but I'm really excited to read it. Then Productivity, a book you learned something from or had an impact on you. And if you've been watching my channel for a while, you would know that I love nonfiction, specifically dealing with parenting, self-improvement, faith, health, and like running, those kind of things. I really like those books. So I just picked a couple. Most of these are parenting books, but let's see, we've got these two by Emily Oster, which is Expecting Better and Crib Sheet. These are really good because she takes like the science behind pregnancy and toddler, like the first year or two, and she like gives you all the myths and stuff and then just gives you the facts. There are no opinions in that. She's not big on like giving her opinion. She's just saying, here's what the science says, make your own decision. Loved that. This one is Bebe Day by Day by Pamela Druckerman. And this one is a little bit of it's just little tidbits about how the French parent, and it's very interesting because the French seem to raise like these really mature little kids, and so it's just interesting. It was very interesting. Then I had Happy Mom, Happy Baby by Giovanna Fletcher. The glare on this is just terrible, but Giovanna Fletcher I love her. She has a podcast and it's also on YouTube where she talks to a bunch of different moms about different mothering things, and this one is just so relatable. At the time she had 2 boys, and she's just talking about her experience, her struggles, her everything, and she's very vulnerable, very open. Loved this book, and it just made me feel both comforted and heard, and it had some good advice. So I would highly recommend this if you are a new mom or just want to kind of feel heard. And then lastly, the last one I picked is Present Over Perfect. This one is not about parenting. It's about just being present in your life and enjoying the moments as opposed to like constantly striving to be perfect and to achieve. And like for me, productivity is like so I love it. And so I will multitask and do things and then just be like, whoa, how did I get from A to B? Because I was not present in that moment at all. And especially with kids, being present, and even if it's not productive, even if we're sitting on the floor like doing nothing, it's so important. So this one was a really short, quick read. Another one is Anxious for Nothing by Max Lucado. I don't know, for some reason I'm blanking on how it's pronounced, but it's all about like anxiety and how to calm that, and like biblical references as to why we don't need to be anxious. And so if you are a Christian and don't mind like heavily Christian books, it is so good to deal with anxiety. So, yeah, those are all books that I have read and loved and learned something from and just been inspired by. Love them. Then Facetime, a book you were gifted. So again, if you have watched any of my hauls, you would know that my sister is just so wonderful she is very good at unhauling books. And luckily I am the recipient of a lot of these books. And so just last month, these are some of the ones she gave me. The Girl He Used to Know by Tracy Garvis Graves. The Mountain Between Us by Charles Martin. And The Bride Quartet by Nora Roberts. This is, I think, the fourth one, but she gave me the whole quartet. So she is awesome. And now I have a birthday and Mother's Day coming up, and I'm potentially toying with the idea of asking for Book of the Month. And so I don't know. That would then count as a lot of books that have been gifted, in my opinion, but haven't done that yet. So we'll just count those for now. Last is self-care. One thing you have done recently to look after yourself. So I get up very early, like 5:30, 5:45, sometime between 5 and 6, and I exercise before my child gets up, before the day really gets started. And that is just a time for me to zone out. I normally watch BookTube, and I just don't have to worry about anybody or anything, and I can just do exercise, feel productive, feel good, gets my blood flowing for the day, and I just love it. So that is a big form of self-care. Also, my YouTube channel. I have done a lot more with this in the past couple months than I have. I started it in December and did just a little bit December, January, maybe even February, and then I really started doing more February, March, and April, and it's just, I love it. Again, like I've said, I'm kind of a productivity junkie. And so being able to produce videos and then interact with you guys about them, I love it so much. And then all the readathons and things like that I've done, it just is a big form of self-care because it reminds me of my hobbies and things that I like to do prior to kids. And it has been a great form of self-care. So thank you guys for watching these videos and for interacting with me. And yeah, for supporting this channel. Last is bonus. Name a book coming soon. Now I'm going to say Not Like the Movies by Carrie Winfrey. And this is the second in the Waiting for Tom Hanks series, duology. I don't know what it's going to be. And I am kind of the unpopular opinion. I loved Waiting for Tom Hanks. So this one is the sequel. It follows the best friend and her love interest. And I cannot wait to read it. I got denied on NetGalley. So I'm going to have to wait till July 2nd, I think is when it comes out. And so I can't wait to read that. So I hope we're not still quarantined July 2nd. In fact, I know we won't be state regulated because our state has already lifted the stay-at-home order, but I will have a newborn, so I will be at home a lot, and so hopefully I can get it on the Kindle or something and read that ASAP. So that is the stay-at-home book tag. Thank you so much. I am not going to tag anybody because this is an older tag, and I don't know who all's done it, but if you want to do this, please do. I would love to hear your answers because these are really fun questions. So thank you again for watching. I hope you have a wonderful night, day, whatever it is when you're watching this. Bye.